Hello and welcome to another Word in Season. This is Pastor Rashan coming to you from Full Love Global Ministries. And today what I want to do is look at Mark chapter 11. Mark chapter 11. This is when Jesus comes in and clears the temple, okay? And in verse 17, I'm not going to read all of that. In verse 17, it says, then he taught them. I think it's really interesting that after he came and cleared the temple out, it actually says he started to teach them something. So he wasn't just yelling at the top of his voice and being all upset about everything. It said, verse 17, then he taught, saying to them, is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of thieves. I just really want to look at that one verse. I mean, if you went on to the next verse, it's very sad. It says, and the scribes and chief priests heard it and sought how they might destroy him because they were doing all the wrong things, okay? But I want to look at verse 17 here, and I want to sort of draw a little bit of a parallel here, and I want to talk about Jesus looking at your house. All right, now he's gone into, notice it says, it's not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations. You know, in the Gospels, Jesus talks about us building our house on sand and us building our house on rocks and on a rock. And it alludes to the fact that our house, it's talking about our life. Do you understand? And in some instances, it talks about your body being your house, okay? It houses your spirit. And so I really want you to see this in a little bit of a different light. Yeah, I'm taking some liberties here, okay? Don't write me bad letters. But I just want to show you something. I want to make a certain point here. And I do understand, I do teach line upon line, precept upon precept, all right? But I want to take something out from here to show you something. What does Jesus see when he comes to your house, into your life? Whatever life you've built, is it a house of prayer? Is it a life dedicated to prayer? And I'm not talking about religious prayer. I'm talking about you talking to God. I'm talking about you communicating with God. I'm talking about God being in the center of everything that you do. Amen. Leading you, guiding you, and so on and so forth. You know, the temple was meant to be a picture of what our lives was meant to be like. And that's why it was so sad when Jesus went in there, that the picture, the thing that was meant to set the example was setting a bad example. It had everything wrong. And I think sometimes our life is the same way. Instead of having God in the center of our life, we've got all these other things that are cluttering our life. And Jesus sometimes has to come in with a whip and get rid of all of it, you know. And we need to have a good attitude about that. When you know, he's not going to be horrible towards you. Okay, he is love. But I need you to understand that some things that he wants to go through in your life and get rid of those things because they are causing you problems. And you know, you don't realize how much we cut off God from our lives because of the way we live our lives and because of the things in our lives, because of all the distractions that get in the way. And so I just want to share this with you, and I want you for you to do some house cleaning today. All right? I don't want you to just listen to this. I want you to go back and I want you to think about what are the things in your life, just like Jesus had to go in through that temple and found all of these things that shouldn't be there and cleared them all out. What are the things that you need to do in your life, led by the Spirit, that you need to go in and you need to clear out of your life? You know, when we're doing communion, the Apostle Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, and he says, if we judge ourselves, we would not be judged. Amen. And you know, that's the secret to your life. Judge yourself. Look at yourself. Be honest with yourself. Don't get too judgy on yourself, okay? But judge those things in your life that you just think you could do better. Things in your life that you maybe need to get rid of. And so that Jesus doesn't have to come and do this, right, in this way. And can I just say this? He is a loving Lord, and he'll help you get rid of all those things and bring it back to a place where it is a house of prayer. Amen? And I'll say this to you, you know, don't react like the chief priest. Don't get mad and don't get upset and want to do him harm, all right? Understand something, whatever he does for you, whenever he comes into your life, it is to bless you. It is to look after you. It is to set you up on high. And he wants to take anything and everything out of your life that is causing you to not get to the heights that he planned for you to get to. Isn't that good? Amen. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me for another Word in Season, and I will see you next time.